Imagine setting off on a motorcycle adventure through the untamed beauty of British Columbia, where every turn reveals a breathtaking new landscape. We live in the Okanagan Valley, known for its wine. As adventure motorcyclists, we have access to over 600,000 kilometers of back roads in our province, each offering its own challenges and rewards. With a few days off work, we couldn't resist the opportunity to explore some of these roads. The Kootenay region, located in eastern British Columbia, is a land of majestic mountains, millions of trees and crystal clear water. Drawn to its beauty, we decided to spend the next 4 days exploring this remarkable area. We will start our adventure at Crawford Bay, east of Kootenay Lake, and will cross the Grey Creek Pass towards Kimberley. From Kimberley, we will head north through Canal Flats and stay overnight at Radium Hot Springs. Day 2 will take us south from Radium Hot Springs to the beautiful ski town of Fernie. Our final day will take us from Fernie towards Kimberley, whereafter we will cross Grey Creek Pass again towards Crawford Bay, where our venture will end. These things are okay?
They're pretty tight.
Due to a limited amount of time, we decided to trailer the bikes to our starting point. Here's the driver, I don't know if I can trust him.
Quality stuff.
We picked up Alan along the way and drove for 4.5 hours to the ferry terminal at Balfour, which is located on the western side of Kootenay Lake. We arrived at the ferry terminal with only 3 minutes to spare. Otherwise, we would have had to wait another 2 hours for the final ferry of the day. We met Jacques, the final member of our group, in Crawford Bay.
You guys made it on that ferry.
It was like 3 minutes. It was 3 minutes to spare.
Look at
Yes, I just missed it by 3 minutes.
The next morning we had coffee, packed our bikes and were off. This is day 1 of our trip. This is where we stayed last night at the Kootenay Chalets. We had a good night's rest, had a few beers last night with supper. We all slept well and we're ready to go. It's not really cold this morning. It's about 8 or 9 degrees. So it should be a great day for riding. We've got about 10 kilometers or so to get to the turnoff to Grey Creek Pass, and from there it's all gravel. Alright, Grey Creek Pass. Here we are. So, a few interesting facts. It's the highest off-road pass in Canada. It's almost 7,000 feet above sea level. We're gonna climb for the next 16 kilometers up to 5,000 feet. I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be a beautiful road. The back is always a lot of dust. I want to try and keep my distance a bit. We've got Craig at the front on the KTM 890. And then Alan on his 690 KTM. Jacques has got a Maruguzi 850 and I've got the Tenere 700. The most reliable bike at the back. What's the problem? Is it the first breakdown?
Oh, yeah.
We gotta get the recovery trailer. First KTM.
You start to check the navigation map there.
First KTM is down. Alright, we're off again. Craig got a loose strap at the back of his bike. We just tied that down securely. We're nearing Kimberley now. We're going to find a nice restaurant to stop, have a bite to eat, something cold to drink, and then onwards again to Canal Flats and our last stop, Radium, tonight. Just outside of Canal Flats, we found a beautiful open space nestled between the mountains and trees. I remembered this spot from a few years ago and knew we had to stop here. Okay, we are somewhere between Kimberley and Radium Hot Springs. That's Rocky Mountains over there. We've had great riding today, different terrain, lots of rocks. Take an easier road. Might save us about 30 minutes because we still got an hour at least to go. It's already 5 o'clock and you want to get there before dark. So we've got about 20 k's I think to get to the highway, and then we've got the last 40 kilometers on road, which should be quick. Alright, we've got 60 k's left, Radium. Easy riding on the highway. Here we go. Fortunately, we arrived at our destination before dark and unloaded the bikes. We had a nice shower and headed to a local restaurant.
Good day of riding. Safe.
Over a bite to eat, we relaxed and talked through the day's ride, reflecting on the journey so far and planning for what lay ahead.
Okay, stop him here, kom maar. Yeah, we'll get yours. It's just the weather we wanted.
Believe it. Perfect morning for a bike ride.
These guys are crying already. They haven't started yet. Drizzling a little bit.
Not too much.
So we gassed up. It's now 9:20. We're in Alberta time. We're just leaving Radium. This is where we stayed last night. We had a good night's rest. When we woke up this morning, it was soaking wet. It was raining, and we thought it was going to be a terrible wet day, but well, thankfully it's clearing up and it looks beautiful. There's some clouds, sun is coming through. It's a perfect day for photography. Hopefully we'll get some nice footage. So we're gonna ride for about 15-20 minutes, I think, on a highway, and then we'll take the Forest Service road off to the right, and then we back roads all the way to Fernie. It's about 250 kilometers today. I think we're going to see a lot of this today. The clouds and the sun, it is just spectacular. Okay, here's our turn off. It's a busy road, so I'm glad we're off this main road, Settlers Road. Alright, we're on the Settlers Road, Forest Service Road. We've got about 200 kilometers to go. Thankfully the rain stopped. It's going to be a bit wet, but as long as there's not too much mud, we should be okay. Just look there in the front, there's a massive area that burned down. It's always a consideration when we plan our trips, because there's always fires, or quite often in the summer. July or August are always risky months if you want to do these backcountry travels, because of the wildfires. That's the problem. So this time of the year it's cooling down, the risks are lower, so it's a great time to travel. Yes, there's sections that are very slippery and wet, others are fine again, but you think you've just, you're home free, and then you get these sections like this coming up. Water is one thing, but freaking mud. There's some more coming up there at the front. I can see that. That doesn't look good. Craig has gone through, so it should be. And there goes Alan, so it's probably just shallow stuff. Jock has done it. Alright, it was simple. Simple stuff. This is deep, 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 deep stuff. And there's more water coming. Let's see what Alan does. Alright, that looks fairly shallow. Light work. Simple stuff. Alright, so far so good. Damn it, it's slippery. Oh, there he's down. And me. Bliksem. Jy right. Ek het geskrik toe jy val. Kyk, 1, 2, 3. Dieselfde tipe goed wat al opgeval het. Laas jaar het ek net my stand opsit. Kyk, 1, 2, 3. Phew.
Yes, I looked at my rearview mirror. I saw Jacques parked down, and I couldn't see you. Next thing I better turned around. I checked both of your bikes on the ground.
He thought there was a bear coming out of the bush. It was me. Okay, that was not part of the plan, but it happened, and it's freaking slippery. Thankfully, no one got injured. Just our egos. There goes Jock again. Well, it's all good. Oh, you're off in the bush. People, I don't know what how we're gonna get through here. Uh-oh. Bliksem. Yerr.
Good job.
I almost freaking drowned the bike. He's got the wrong line here. I cannot just stop and turn around to look. I've just gotta keep my bike moving. Never a dull moment. It's always something. Oh, look at this. Just look at that. No, people, this is easy. Just going through the side here. Speaking, this is not rocket science.
I wanted to video.
Huh?
I wanted to video you coming through.
No, I saw the light. I saw the other side. Okay, we're still in one piece. Could have been worse. Okay, gravel. Gravel's our friend. Okay, this looks better. We can work with this. Okay, we're back on dry land. Everyone is happy about it. We've got about 10 kilometers to go until we cross the river, and there we're going to stop. That's the most beautiful spot for me of this whole trip that we're doing. I mean, this is just, I don't know what to say. Absolutely spectacular. I just love this part. I'll come back again just for this. There's a big grizzly out here apparently.
The cub came out ahead of us, and fucking the cub moved, like, and started running down the road again. This thing came out of the bush and it seemed to flash. They're all up here, so just be careful.
Okay, so this guy said there's a grizzly out here. That's the last thing we want to see. I don't mind black bears, but grizzlies, no thank you. I just had to stop here. The light was perfect. We had this long open stretch. I flew my drone while the guys were riding, so I hope it will look nice.
The final stretch of the day was also a challenge. We had about 15 kilometers left to reach Fernie, but the descent down the mountain was anything but easy, and the path was slick and wet. Thankfully, we arrived safely in Fernie and made our way to the hotel. After settling in, we grabbed a bite to eat. Over dinner, we shared stories and reflections from the day.
Good job. Good navigating.
No injuries.
No broken bone.
No injuries, no nothing. Luckily not.
You know, I think the nicest part for me was today when we were riding on that nice road next to the river.
Yeah.
I think that was beautiful, eh? But really clean, green water. I think that was great.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd bury the Yamaha, but I didn't get so lucky. But my best thing was last night, the waiter, when he told Ellen to fuck off. No, and Ellen said it was a brain surgeon, the waiter says, fuck off.
For me, it was to see the highway. Like, I actually made it, and at the end of the day, yeah, and I just knew from there. It's very nice view, yeah.
So it's Saturday morning, the third and final day of our trip. We're just leaving Fernie now. It's a pretty town. It really is. I mean, if you look at this, look at the mountains there. You can see the trees are changing color. Maybe another week or so it will be even more prettier. We're gonna go back on that same road we came down on yesterday, that muddy, slippery road. But hopefully it'll be less muddy, although I doubt it. The good news is we're gonna go uphill, so we shouldn't slip and slide that much. And then once we get to the top, we're gonna take another trail and go down all the way into Bull River and then highway to Kimberley. So Jock has decided to take the highway. We'll meet him in Kimberley, which I think is a good idea because his bike doesn't have, you know, proper off-road tires. He doesn't have the knobbies on his bike, so I think that's the safest option. Looks already better than last night. This area was wet and quite slippery coming down here, so far so good. Just look at that mountain through there. This is pretty country. Maybe I spoke too soon. Mud, here we come. I'd rather stay in the middle here. My bike starts sliding, I'm not off the side. Oh, hell, Craig is sliding. That's not a good thing. And Alan. and me. Hey, puppy. Okay.
Just pulls the wheel, eh? Yes. It's been a lekker ride, huh?
Yes, listen, we
Mud at the bottom, man.
yeah, we've been lucky. I mean, it's sections that's tricky, but the rest looks good.
Yeah, that's been lekker.
See how KTM comes out of here. Fun it. Yeah, there he is. Simple stuff. It was easy enough. That could have been a nightmare. So we went off the track here. Once you lose your line, it's downhill and you're off the track. No, well, Craig, I don't want to go there. He's in the rut. He's going to fall his millie off. Okay, there at least he's out. Alright, so we passed all the muddy sections. I don't think this area saw rain, which is great for us. We'll be able to go a bit fast on this easily, but there's still lots of corners and turns, so this is obviously still in the mountains, so it's not just going to be long straight sections where you can ride a bit faster. So if you want to know what it's like to ride an adventure bike in BC, this is it. Trees and more trees, water and mountains. Majestical. So we just had lunch in Kimberley. We decided we had enough of all the unhealthy food, all the hamburgers and fries. We had a delicious buttered chicken curry with extra naan bread, super healthy stuff. And now we are back on Grey Creek Pass, which will be the last section of our trip. You know, as our adventure is coming to an end, I've been thinking about everything we've experienced over the last few days, and a lot of things come to mind. We actually just rode by someone that was sitting next to the road. He made a fire and you can smell everything. You can smell the smoke, you can smell the trees, the rain, even the cows. You won't believe me. Secondly, there is a amazing freedom that you experience by doing this on a motorcycle. I realize that everyone cannot ride a motorcycle or live in this beautiful country. And that makes me more grateful that I can be here and be part of this and experience this. Also with great friends. I wouldn't want to do this on my own. We're a group of friends that have the same interests and passions, and it is wonderful to be able to share this with them. You know, we've seen beautiful stuff over the last few days, but everything hasn't been easy. I mean, it rained and it was cold, and no one enjoys riding in the rain and experiencing cold. But it's part of the experience, and those are the memories that I will think of when I'm old one day and not able to ride. you also experience creation, and you appreciate that, and you praise God for His creation, the fact that He's almighty and that He created this. It puts us into perspective. And if there is anyone out there watching this, I hope that you had a glimpse of the wonderful experiences that we had over the last few days.
After a long day of riding, we made it back safely to our destination. We unloaded the motorcycles and gathered around for some snacks and a few well-deserved beers. The warmth of the fire set the perfect atmosphere as we talked about the amazing moments of the last few days. The laughter and stories flowed, each of us grateful that the trip had been free of injuries and filled with unforgettable experiences. We hope to have many more adventures together in the future.